All right, we got to do a quick reaction to Jeremy Lefebvre because he put out a video recently celebrating the insane rise in the last couple of days of Planet 13 stock. Now, if you look at the stock chart to the right, you can see Planet 13 is up 30% in 5 days. Oh my God. But if you zoom out 5 years, you can see it's a tiny blip. But of course, Jeremy Lefebvre, he thinks you're so stupid that you won't understand that this temporary move means absolutely nothing, and that the vast majority of Planet 13 investors bought well above the current price. And it's still less than $1. How adorable. What is it? Not yet. 94 cents. So let's go ahead and react to this video, because Jeremy gives his thoughts on Planet 13. The stock went up, so of course something great must be happening, right? It can't be because of a random market fluctuation or shorts covering. No, something must have happened. Let's see.
Bob Groesbeck and Larry Scheffler shared, quote, 2022 was a difficult year for the Jack Jackson investors, right? And as CEOs and holders of 78 million shares of Planet 13 combined, by the way, personally, I own about 32,000 shares of Planet in the public account, of over 78 million shares of Planet 13.
Of course you own 32,000 shares in a massively unprofitable, clownish company that has massive overhead because they have a store that's twice the size that they actually need. Of course you own 32,000 shares in this company, Jeremy.
Combined with a certainly emphasis with shareholders, right? They emphasize, they own a ton of the stock, obviously. 2022 was the worst year for the market since 2008, and our industry was not spared. Prices were down across the board for Jack Jackson stocks, with the biggest driver, as we saw in December, the failure of reform at the federal level, right? Which the hope is.
So before we get to some of the more meat, so he crosses out Jack Jackson here. He crosses out Jack Jackson here, and then he freaking leaves it up here like a massive clown. He's in a rush to just pump out trash content so he can grift as much money as possible. What a freaking loser.
Is that eventually the product is federally legalized, but it just seems like it's like, oh, maybe we'll get something to happen, and it doesn't happen, right? And I can tell you, if you had all the people in the United States of America vote, legalize this product or have it be illegal, I 100% would bet every dollar I have, every penny of my net worth, that they would essentially legalize this product. There's way more.
Well, the funny thing is we're actually a republic, Jeremy. We're not a democracy. So we don't have this nationwide vote where we all go to the polls and the ballots and everybody's votes are just tallied up in one big massive pot. That's not how it frickin' works, you clown. Now, we had a fully democratic House, Senate, and presidency. And even I was like, oh, maybe there's a chance, some Jack Jackson could be passed through, some legalization perhaps. Didn't happen. And now we just had a Republican Congress take over. It looks like we're not going to have any reform. And it looks like all these clown Jack Jackson stocks are going to be down for the foreseeable future, and they're going to have an insanely hard time making a profit until there's legalization, as you'll see in a little bit.
More than 50% of the people out there that would legalize the product. I can guarantee you that. But unfortunately, that's not the way it works in the United States of America. And, it gets into politics, and it's unfortunate, but that is the system we live in. It's not a true system where the majority gets the decisions. It's the minority of politicians decide what happens. And it's unfortunate, but it is part of the process, right?
Yeah, you elect those politicians. It's a republic. You elect your representatives.
At some point in time, the product will get federally legalized. I can tell you that. My thought process has always been when the economy starts to get hit in more of a major way and the government starts to realize, oh crap, we need to do something here. We need to create jobs. I feel like there hasn't been a big emphasis on this because this industry could create hundreds of thousands, if not millions of jobs around the United States of America. But unemployment's been so low that I feel like the government's kind of been like, we don't necessarily need this sector. Believe me, as soon as real jobs start being lost, which we're starting to see in a major way, right? That's when the government starts to look around and be like, okay, where can we generate revenue? Where can we create jobs, right?
That's funny because we had this massive recessions, I guess technically we are in a recession. We had this massive lockdown. Our economy got freaking hurt. We didn't legalize marijuana oops. I don't know if I got in trouble for that. We'll see. We didn't legalize Jack Jackson then. Now, did we, Jeremy Lefebvre? Whatever.
That's what happens. At Planet 13, we can only control what we can control. And so that is what we are focused on. We've maintained an 8 to 10% market share in Nevada while cutting costs to maintain margins. We are growing revenue in California. We've made progress on our growth initiatives in Florida and Illinois, setting up the stage for us to have operations in 4 states by the end of 2023. And we continue to have one of the strongest balance sheets and cleanest capital structures in the Jack Jackson industry. There is a saying,
and of course he doesn't cross it out there.
Revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, and cash is king. I love that, okay? I love that. We have always managed our business and aligned this even when everyone else focused on rapid growth. We encourage investors to think in this context, and when comparing Planet 13 to other Jack Jackson companies, please remember the following. As of last quarter, September 30th, 2022, we had positive operating cash flow. We had $50 million in cash. This is a small cap company, so, like super small cap. So 50 million cash is a lot of money. That's insane. That's insane. We had 0 debt, and we are up to date on all tax payments.
Okay, so now they're talking about financials. So he just covered a pretty significant portion of this letter released. So number one, when it comes to the market dominance, this product is so easily replicated. It's so hard to distinguish. There's really no way you can forever hold a dominant share of any market in this specific industry. And even if you did, it ain't going to be coming from a high-end Jack Jackson store. I've been there personally. The one in Nevada. It's insanely expensive, okay? If this stuff gets legalized, you're going to find this at Walmart. You're going to find this at Costco. You're going to find it cheap everywhere. And there's going to be all these shops popping up with all these hippies. Yeah, bro, let's go sell some Jack Jackson, bro. Start my own stud, bro. There's going to be an insane amount of competition, okay? So just because they're like, oh, look at our market share. Look at our growing revenue. It doesn't mean anything. This is a highly competitive industry. It is extremely hard to dominate, okay? So then they start talking about their financials. So let's go fact check. So they said they have positive operating cash flow. They have $50 million in cash and 0 debt. Oh, and they paid their taxes. Good job. Good job there, Planet 13. So, let's see. Quarterly balance sheet. Well, that's the income statement. Balance sheet. So they do have $50 million in cash. Okay. Cash flow. They had $1 million in positive operating cash flow. Okay. And they said they had 0 debt. Okay. I don't know if these are leases or what. Maybe these are leases, but according to this, they actually have debt. So either that's a blatant lie, or these are, some kind of lease, and they don't really count that as debt. But even then, they still have current liabilities. So technically, they do have debt. But okay, that's fine. But at the end of the day, Lefebvre, it doesn't matter if the stock went up, okay? It doesn't matter if the stock went up. Do you want to know what the problem with this company is? Well, before we do that, let's talk about Home Service CPA, my sponsor, today's sponsor. If you're a business owner and you want somebody that's competent, a professional to take care of your payroll, your bookkeeping, and your taxes, you should consider hiring HomeServiceCPA.com. And the money that you spend on these services provided by an accountant, a certified public accountant, could potentially save you way, way, way more in the future because you're accurately tracking your business performance. You're actually filing all your required tax forms with the government on time and accurately, and you get to live a lot less stressful life, and you can focus on your business while all the numbers and the money tracking is done by somebody else. Check out HomeServiceCPA.com. Now, here's the ultimate problem with Planet 13. It's all about taxes. Planet 13 has tax expense. They pay taxes, and it's weird because they have, and I've explained this 1,000 times, they have losses on their income statement, pre-tax losses. Well, in some quarters, like I said, a slight profit in other quarters. Why? Because according to the tax code, you can't deduct a lot of expenses to arrive at taxable income. So what happens is they're only able to deduct a very small amount of expenses. I believe it's just cost of goods sold. So they're paying tax on this number right here at the very top of the income statement, when most companies pay tax on this right here. Do you see the problem? Look at the difference here. -4 versus 10. 0.85 versus 13. 0.7 versus 12, 13. They're paying tax, the percentage tax rate on this number instead of this, which results in a massive amount of tax that they're paying because of the laws. Do you understand, ladies and gentlemen? Without legalization, this company will never do well. It'll always be a penny stock. And even if there is legalization, and oh, by the way, this is totally not a stimmy check clown bubble, now was it? If there even is legalization, it's in a highly, highly competitive industry, and what they charge is absolutely insane. So you see this little blip down here, you go ahead and celebrate that, okay? You got your little 50% pop. Wow, 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 look at those gains, wow. And you have a wonderful day. Cheers.